stupid video that is in circulation. You know that they can't attack ESN. They can't. They have no moral ground. But I'm sure they gave money to some idiots and gave them guns to say they are Biafran army. I don't know if they're up to 6 or 7 of them, which is a lie. It's the DSS creation. So they can have justification to say to Biden or the US ambassador, can you see they now have Biafran army? We can now move in to attack them. Anybody, if you are involved in that video, take a walk. You want to give Fulani Janjaweed the reason to invade our land. That's what you're doing. But we shall get to that later. Anybody involved in the circulation of that video is a gunner. I'm telling you the truth. And those that made it. That is how people behave, because they don't understand the game plan of the Fulani. People are very foolish. Fulani will come to you and want to use you, and you succumb because you have greed, envy, and jealousy inside you. Which one again is Biafran army? I'm asking you. From where? How many people? The day I will bring out the Biafran army, we number over 200,000 standing. Reserve is over 1 million. Some bunch of idiots somewhere, because you're serving your Fulani Janjaweed masters. We'll get hold of all of you. Check out Uno Oko. We know the bad eggs when we see them. We warned people against voting for Buhari in 2015 when he was still alive. The same Buhari died in 2017. People, all of you know that Buhari is dead. Today he's young, tomorrow he's old. You see his hand is fresh today, tomorrow. Nobody knows who is who anymore. All of you are there, but because it's the turn of your village. Your brother is a senator. Your sister is a House of Reps member. You don't want to lose that money that is coming in every day. You come out on social media and you're talking rubbish all the time because you're a black person. You don't understand. There is something called economies of scale. Some of you cannot reason very well. You claim you went to school. Sometimes I wonder the type of lecturers you had in your useless schools that you went to. I wonder, honestly speaking. Because you and your family, you are benefiting. Somehow you think that life is okay for you. Because of the level, or should I say the poverty of ideas inside you. Any day your relative goes into the farm, the Fulanis will kill them. All you can do is to lament. Say things are bad, though, and you go and you sleep. And nothing gets done about it. It was I am very, very grateful to Almighty Elohim that the courage today that you have in Yoruba land is because of ESN. The courage of Amoteku to say no to Fulani is because of ESN. Because of Eastern Security Network. That is why they found the courage to say no to Fulani. If not, they will not do it. After all these years, without the coming, should I say all these months, without the coming of ESN, as Amoteku said, we are going to flush out Fulani headsmen from our bushes. Never. It's because they saw us, they have seen us doing it. They said, oh, we might as well do the same thing as well. In order to it's called the pincer movement, to cut us off. They got some people, I don't know whether maybe in Olu or whatever, got them together, gave them, say, we are Biafran army, a few idiots. They are shooting gun, we are Biafran army. Inside somewhere. Did we tell you that we have formed the Biafran army? We said when we form it, the world will know that we have come. I don't hide anything. If you claim you are behind any useless group calling themselves Biafran army, show your face because I'm showing my face on video. I claim ownership of ESN, not ownership of course. I can claim responsibility for ESN. Can you claim the same thing for Biafran army? If you claim you're a human being, that's is all the handiwork of DSS. Mad people every idiots everywhere. Africans and lack of discipline. You don't have discipline. You don't have discipline. That was why the white man came and conquered you, because you lack discipline. After the white man must have finished with you, Fulani came from Senegambia because you have no brain. Lack of discipline. Every idiot thinks they can lead. They don't know what leadership entails. Every monkey thinks, oh, maybe if we have it. Nobody is funding IPOB ESN. It's only IPOB that's funding it worldwide. If you think you can bring 2 or 3 people together with a few rifles, and because of that, you can start calling for funds, you are wasting your time. You don't know our people. They won't give you a dime. Fulani is making use of your brain. You cannot see it. They come to you, oh, why don't you fight Yoruba? Oh, Yoruba is against Igbo. Igbo is against Yoruba. Fight each other. The same thing they did in the constitution of Biafra land. They told, I know the game they're playing. There was this stupid video that is in circulation. You know, they can't attack ESN. They can't. They have no moral ground. But I'm sure they gave money to some idiots and gave them guns to say they are Biafran army. I don't know if they're up to 6 or 7 of them, which is a lie. It's the DSS creation. So they can have justification to say to Biden or the US ambassador, can you see they now have Biafran army? We can now move in to attack them. Anybody, if you are in
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. I greet you according to your time zone and I welcome you to this program. While you are joining us, share the video, invite others to join. We are live and direct. The time now stands at 7:36 in Biafra land. 7:36 in Biafra land. If it is what your clock tells you, it means we are live and direct. And across the world, it is to 34 minutes or 24 minutes. Oh no, sorry, 24 minutes on top of the hour, before the top of the hour. That is the time where you are at. 24 minutes before the top of the hour. That is where you will know we are live and we are direct. 24 minutes before the top of the hour. Great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom, great Africa, we welcome you to this program. Share the video. We are live on YouTube, we are live on Twitter, on X rather. We are live on X. We are of course live on Facebook, which you are going to connect to some of that Facebook platform when we get the stability of this broadcast. Of course, we are here once again to make sure we continue the gospel, but we will not forget those who are actually suffering as a result of natural disaster that struck them in Africa, the country called Morocco. We are standing in solidarity with them, regardless of their character against other African countries. We are in solidarity with them, and we hope that God, who created heaven and earth, will console the families who had lost their loved ones, because it is actually something that is, it is quite unfortunate. Earthquake that hit Morocco was 6.8. It was a 6.8 magnitude of that earthquake, taking the lives of more than 2,000, more than 2,000 people. The lives of more than 2,000 people was lost at Morocco, starting from, the day of the earthquake, which is I think is yesterday or day before yesterday, that the earthquake struck Morocco and took the lives of these people. May their soul rest in the bosom of God Almighty, and we are in solidarity with them. And great and wonderful people, great people of Africa, and we will not also forget to say happy New Year to our people in the Ethiopia. It is New Year for the Ethiopians. As so many of you may know, that Ethiopia was not colonized. So they are still keeping their time, and they were not imposed this time, this new millennial time that we are using. They are still keeping the original time, and they are still using the original biblical calendar, which is when most of the time when you trace the historical fact, that is a historical time and calendar, you might actually trace it back to Ethiopia. And most of them, most of the people in the Rastafari, in the Caribbean, I believe they are following the same calendar because they are going to celebrate their new year tomorrow. Tomorrow is the new year in Ethiopia. And if you look at the biblical calendar, the original biblical calendar, you will understand that the Savior, the Yeshua, the Chukwu Abiama, was born within this season. Within this season. That was when Yeshua was born. That is the reason why when we tell you that many things in Christianity is contradictory, it looks like we are actually being prejudiced against the Christians because there is many contradictory informations that is actually being taught or that is people are learning that need to be unlearned. It is the new year for the Ethiopians tomorrow. We wish them Happy New Year in advance. We know that is our people there. They are called the tribe of Dan. The tribe of Dan. Those are the people you found in Ethiopia. The tribe of Dan. There is Naphtali, there is Dan. We are the tribe of God. So they are the tribe of Dan. They are following the original biblical calendar. And this is still 2016 or 15. They are still in the year 2015 or 16. Thereabout. 15, 2015 in Ethiopia. So we say to them, Happy New Year. Just like we are celebrating our New Yam Festival, which is our New Year in Biafra land, which is supposed to be our New Year in Biafra land, just because everything was actually changed, our dinana and our times and the laws were bastardized, just like it was written unto us in the book of Daniel 12 verse 4. It says, shut the book. Oh no, not Daniel, not Daniel 12 verse 4. There is in the book of Daniel as well. It says that they will try to change the law and time, which they have done. They did change the law. They did change the time. So that is exactly as a result of what we are suffering today. Daniel 12 verse 4 says, Daniel shut the book for at the time of the end, that knowledge shall increase. So that knowledge is actually what is going on here now. So it is very, very important that we do not forget where we come from. Regardless of how many of us who are willing to trace back their roots, regardless of how many of us who are in denial of whom they are, it will not stop us from, talking and, instilling in our people and teaching them exactly what they are and whom they are, because your origin matters a lot. We have very, very good connections with those people, the tribe of Dan in Ethiopia. That is the reason why if you read the book of Zephaniah, it says that for beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, that the supplant of Chukwu Kikabiama shall bring the offering. So we have a very good connection with Ethiopians, and we know that time will tell, and with time all these things are going to be sorted out. We will call our people, and they will call us their own people. It is very, very necessary and very important. It is historical fact. So let us now shoot straight to the business of the day. And don't forget, today is a very important day for the United States. I hope you haven't forgotten. The very important day for the United States, it is 9/11. Today is 9/11. And we, it is the day Osama bin Laden did what he did at Pentagon. I believe I am right. Today is 9/11. Today's date is what? 11th. And the month is 9, right? So it is 9/11. So I believe that the United States, they are in remembrance of the Osama bin Laden, havoc he wreaked at Pentagon. So, it is a remembrance day for the United States. So I don't know what I will say about it. And we are if you know what you will say about it, you say it, because would I say congratulations, or should I say it is a pity? I don't know what I will say, because we also remember the day America went to kill Gaddafi and then destroy and displace the Libyans who were living well under the regime of Gaddafi. So it is something like that. So I don't know what I'm going to say to them, because people receive what they ordered for other people. So it is like that. So great people, it is very, very important that we reflect on that, on those things, so that when we, so that we will continue. I want you to see this video, these things we are going to talk about. There is, when you look at the video, in the picture of Asari D Ekpesu in front of you, you will remember there was a time people actually asked Asari D Ekpesu, are you a Muslim? Are you a Ekpesu? Are you a Muslim or are you a Ekpesu? He came and debunked that he is not a Ekpesu, and what he is tying on his head is not a Ekpesu. So we are going to now prove it that Asari D Ekpesu is a Ekpesu. He is hiding in the guise of Islam, so that he will be getting favors from the Islamic, path of Nigeria. That is exactly what he is doing. So, and we're also going to bring out exactly what he was saying about how P2B rigged election. So, because his claim right now is that P2B rigged election. And secondly, apart from that, if you look at, we are bringing back the military junta. The military junta you see here, the reason why they are here, it is because the military junta, the sanction that Nigeria gave to military junta, your president, the sanction against Niger Republic, the sanction is finally hurting Nigeria more than it is hurting the military junta. I am going to show you. And of course, this is exactly what is happening between the Europeans and Russia, as they are crying that they sanctioned Russia, but they are the ones feeling the spikes, and it is only going to be exacerbated by the winter season that is upcoming, that is almost there, that is imminent. So it is actually what is actually going on in that sub-Saharan Africa. The sanction hit country is not feeling the spike as the country that laid the embargo on them is feeling it. So we are going to touch on that. In the middle of this picture, you will see Nigeria Army and the Nigeria Police joint operation, raising villages and bombarding communities. And this is that is intolerable in our land, and that is the reason why they have introduced this so-called Biafra Liberation Army. And if you look at the timing, if you understand the timing of unveiling these few individuals, covering their faces, dressing and acting like they unveiled recently. If you look at the timing, you will understand that it is the time as Nnamdi Kanu is going to, Nnamdi Kanu verdict is coming to appear in court. Now, you will see how they unveil the so-called Biafra Liberation Army, and it is a provocation, because when you look at the Biafra Liberation Army, how many are they? And that is exactly what Nnamdi Kanu was trying to tell us, because everything they are doing, it is not a new thing. We have encountered this severally. So that is exactly the reason why we know the answer and response we give to this type of situation each time it arrives. So it is very, very important for you to understand that the outcome of unveiling this stupid Biafra, as you say, Liberation Army, the outcome is now happening. Villages are being raised. There are nowhere to be found. If you go to what happened to this video, actually this is a video that I took a picture, I screen grabbed. In the middle of this picture, under Asari D Ekpesu, you will see it is a joint force. They have destroyed and razed houses of people, burnt it, destroyed them. That's what they are doing. So this is exactly the reason why you see Biafra Liberation Army being unveiled. And secondly, I want you to understand that it is not far from Hope Uzodinma's activities, because of course they have given Hope Uzodinma a ladder to climb that he can rig election and the court will protect him. They said that Peter Obi was actually third in the position, but Hope Uzodinma was as well third in the position in Imo State before the Supreme Court gave him to be the governor of Imo State. On the other hand is Nnamdi Kanu upcoming case. Remember that Nnamdi Kanu upcoming case, there was a declaration by appeal court which is something we cannot forget. And that declaration, if I want to put it in a legal, language, I will say that the court that the federal government of Nigeria, the case that the federal government of Nigeria have against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, that case, it is what is called, it has no prospect to for appeal. It has no prospect for for another appeal. So the reason why it will not have prospect for another appeal, I am going to explain it to you, and I am going to make sure that within 2 hours we are out of here. On the other hand, this one is Igbo presidency on the ground, which is Ezife, who talked about Igbo presidency and tell us what is obtainable before the Igbo presidency, and now Igbo presidency is not there. We want to hear from him. We are going to question Malami exactly the reason why he has to, as a Chief Justice of Federation, or is it Attorney General rather of Federation, who does not understand that a case does not have prospect for appeal. And on the other hand, you see Tinubu. Tinubu went to the India for G20 meeting, which is a congratulation to Africans or African leaders who are committed in making that continent a great place for being the permanent seat or having a permanent seat at G20, which was proposed by the Indian Prime Minister. And of course, we actually, appreciate the Indian Prime Minister because, of course, we are all in this mess together, the global south, as they call us. So, on the other hand, he met with Joe Biden. I believe Tinubu met with Joe Biden. The outcome of that meeting, I'm going to bring it as well, if time permits us. If we are not able to, or be able to get in squeezing all these things that we have gathered here, we will definitely come back tomorrow to actually, treat all of them. But it is very, very important that we understand the aspect of this case. When a court of Nigeria court delivered a judgment saying that the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, which he was discharged and acquitted from all this crime leveled against him, and the court itself said that the case has no prospect of appealing. Remember that the reason why the court said that is because, remember, when you talk about a case having if a case is appealable, the cases that are not appealable are cases such as if you plead guilty in the court of law. If you plead guilty in the court of law, you can never appeal it. You can never appeal after pleading guilty. Now, if you understand that you cannot appeal after pleading guilty, Nigeria state pleaded guilty of extraordinary rendition of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu because they were not able to prove that he was brought into Nigeria through extradition protocols. So they pleaded guilty that they actually renditioned him to Nigeria, which enabled the Supreme Court, the Appeal Court of Nigeria, to quash all these cases that is led against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And they said the case is not appealable. Do you know what it means? It has no prospect to be appealed because of that guilty. The case has no jurisdiction in Nigeria. That is exactly what that case, that a verdict entails. That is what it represents. And Malami, who does not know the law, Malami, who is through a, what do you call nepotism or favoritism, they got him to be the Attorney General of Federation of Nigeria. Through that, Malami decided to override a case, to override the Supreme Appeal Court verdict, which made that case unappealable. He override it. He appealed. He went to Supreme Court. So when a case has no prospect of appeal, it means that you cannot appeal it because they have pleaded guilty of the charges we laid against them. That charges of kidnap and extraordinary rendition, because if it was not there, I believe that the case might have prospect to appeal. But since the case has no prospect to appeal, what is it doing in the Supreme Court? Have you now seen the reason why the Supreme Court cannot come up to actually, stand and try this case? Because they know it is now used as a joker. If Supreme Court of Nigeria believe that the case that is brought on their table, which was override, which was actually, it was Malami using the office of Attorney General in order to manipulate this case to appeal court. Appeal court is not supposed to entertain such case because Supreme Court of Appeal rather is not supposed to entertain this case because appeal court already said that it has no prospect of appealing. And I've been trying to study to understand what is the reason why the appeal court said that this case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will not have any prospect to appeal. I've been trying to understand it. Now today, I came to a realization after, some investigation and some studies. I came to actually understand that issue of rendition and that issue of no jurisdiction, it shows that the prosecutor of Nigeria state pleaded guilty of extraordinary rendition on Mazen Nnamdi Kanu because it has no document, it has no even bilateral treaty with Kenya. So pleading guilty in that regard shows that case cannot be entertained by any court in Nigeria, including the Supreme Court. That is the reason why Malami had to come in. And they tell you that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is a flight risk. That's what they say. Now let us come into the flight risk. The issue of flight risking. When you consider whether a court or whether a person that is being tried in the court of law, for you to consider whether they are flight risk or not, it must be that they are applying for bail before verdict. Bail before sentence or verdict. That is when you talk about the issue of flight risk. So this was what Nigeria uneducated lawyers or attorney general and their judiciary decided to bring up to say that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is a flight risk when the court already quashed every frivolous charges laid against him by Nigeria state. 15 count charges was quashed and thrown into the dustbin. And the next thing that Nigeria state come to say, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is a flight risk. A flight risk on what? A man that is his case is quashed. He can fly anywhere he wants. You have no jurisdiction to try him. So how can he be a flight risk when the court told you you should actually compensate him and take him back to where you found him? So what makes him a flight risk when the case has no jurisdiction in Nigeria? Now, when we talk about that being flight risk, it is something that these people will always quote to people who are uninformed.